country where there is no constitution, no fundamental rights, no Supreme Court and no elections. The questions which is automatically going to arise is who is going to make the laws, who is going to decide who will govern and who is going to protect the rights of the citizens. So, our nation, it cannot function on the basis of power alone. It definitely needs rules, institutions and also some constitutional values, right. So, if you are preparing for your UPSC examination or your state PCS examination, polity is not just another subject. It will help you build that foundational level where you will be catering to different dimensions. You will be understanding about the democracy, you will be understanding about the rights of the citizens, you will be understanding the nature of the political system in India, right. So, polity serves as most important subject. Welcome to our first episode of complete political series. So, in this series, you will be able to understand how the series is going to be structured and why polity is the most important subject in UPSC and what has been the examination pattern when we talk about prelims or when we are talking about the mains relating to this polity. And you will also understand that memorizing the articles or just memorizing the constitutional amendment is not enough. You need to have that conceptual understanding of the topics, you need to have strong hold in the basics. That is when you will be able to success in this. Because now UPSC is not just asking about articles, it is not just talking about the constitutional amendments. It is making sure that you have good catch on the concept, you have good conceptual clarity. That is what this series will be talking about. So, let us begin. So, before beginning, let us understand what do you mean by Indian polity? What are the things covered under this subject? So, the polity, so what is Indian polity? Polity, it is a system of government, right. We have central government, state governments. In polity, we are going to understand what type of government India follows, right. Do we have parliamentary system of government? Do we follow presidential system of the government? Yes, you will be able to understand when you study this particular subject. And you will also study the organization of the parties. You will be able to understand the organization of our political system. We have the central government, we have state governments and then we have local governments, panchayat, etc. Then we will also be talking about the exercises of those political systems and also the limitations. As you all know, the constitution does not guarantee unlimited powers to any political system. If it is going to infringe the rights of or it is going to infringe or take away the fundamental rights of the citizen, definitely those are the limitations which the political system faces in our constitution, and that is exactly what you will be studying under Indian polity subject. Then you will also be studying the rights of the citizens. As you know, we have fundamental rights, right. We have the most important article 32, right, where if your fundamental rights are infringed, you can directly approach the Supreme Court by filing your habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto or certiorari, right. You can directly approach the Supreme Court or the High Court, right. So, the citizens' rights protection by the state. Now the polity is also the study of India's constitutional and political parties. So, what are the core components covered under this polity? The core components will be speaking about the fundamental rights, right. You will be speaking about the DPSPs, fundamental duties, unions, the states, then parliament, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, the powers of Rajya Sabha and how Rajya Sabha is equal in powers to Lok Sabha and what are the different powers where only Lok Sabha enjoys. All those are studied under Indian polity. Then we study about the judiciary, Supreme Court, the constitutional amendments, the constitutional judgments given by the Supreme Court, right. And we will also study about the election commission, constitutional bodies. We have certain constitutional bodies, like we have UPSC, we have CAG, right, and election commission is also the constitutional bodies, right. Indian polity, by this you will also understand what are the constitutional bodies exist in India. Then we'll also be studying about the local self-governments here, the panchayats, right, everything under this. Then center-state relations. What is the center-state relations? And what are the commissions which has spoken to strengthen the center-state relations? As you know, we have commissions like Sarkaria, right, we have Sarkaria Commission, right, we have Punchi Commission, right. This all commissions will be able to understand under the center-state relations. Then emergency provisions, we have Article 352, Article 356 and Article 360, right, catering to the emergency provisions. So Indian polity also focuses on studying the emergency provisions, and even more diverse topics our series will be focusing on. The objective of studying Indian polity is to understand India's constitutional democracy. It helps you if you want to understand what's the democracy of India, what do you mean by democracy of India, and how India follows its democratic system. Indian polity gives answer to all these questions, right. So moving ahead, now talking about why do you need to focus on this polity subject, why is it most important subject in polity. So looking at the previous year trends, this is the trend of prelims examinations. So the polity questions in UPSC from 2023 to 2024. When you look at these questions, right, when you look at these questions, in 2013 we has got 16 questions from polity, right. In 2014 we can see 14 questions from polity. Then 2015 we have received 13 questions from polity. Then 2016 there was a slight decrease, we only got 7 questions from polity. Again in 2017 we got a big jump, 22 questions were from polity. Then 2018 13 questions, 2019 15 questions, 2020 17 questions, 2021 11 questions, 2022 15 questions, 2023 15 questions, and 2024 18 questions. So by looking at this pattern, you can understand that why is polity the most important priority for UPSC prelims. Now when you're talking about from the perspective of the mains examination, we can see here from the perspective of the mains examination, UPSC focusing on polity is important. We can see here the division, polity, governance and social justice comes under GS2. So we can see here from polity we received 48.9% of the questions were from polity, and from the governance part we had 29.1% of questions, and from international relations 22.0%. Right. So from this you can make out that how important polity is both for your prelims examination and also for your mains examination. That is why we have come up with this series in order to make sure that you don't just memorize, but you also understand the conceptual clarity behind each and every topic. Right. Now talking about the mistake which each and every aspirant commit is, they just focus on memorizing the articles, they just focus on memorizing the constitutional amendments because they feel that that is what the examiner will ask in the prelims or the mains examination. Definitely in mains examination is going to help you write a better answer, it can act as a value addition in your answer, but this is not the only demand which UPSC is asking. You need to also have a strong conceptual clarity in each and every topic. You need to build your basics, you need to build each and every basics. Example, if there is an article 21, right, you need to understand that how this article 21 has emerged and how is it going to play an important role. Instead of just memorizing the articles under it, you need to understand the idea behind this article. That is when you will have a clear understanding of the concept. So memorizing the articles is not going to help you, because now UPSC is not just asking the direct questions articles, it is going beyond. It is testing your conceptual understanding of each and every constitutional. If there is a case, example, when we speak about this case, Kesavananda Bharati case, there's no, the only thing is not about memorization, but you need to understand the background behind this case, right? What were the other cases which Kesavananda Bharati case reversed, right? So you need to have good conceptual understanding, not just memorization, right? So this is what our series will be focusing on. Now, our series will not just be reading textbooks, or will not be understanding you whatever the theories or whatever the concept written in the textbooks. We will be focusing on conceptual understanding of each and every topic. We will make sure that you understand each topic properly, you build that conceptual clarity first. Then our second thing will be examination perspective. We will make sure that whatever the topics are taught, it is based on the patterns of the UPSC questions. If I speak about this Article 21, there was a question which asked right to privacy comes under which part of article, right? The answer is Article 21. Now this question was asked twice in prelims. So based on this recognition of pattern, we will cater to the examination demand. This will be our second objective of the series. Then talking about the third, practical governance perspective. So this is the three important dimensions we will be focusing on this series. So we will discuss important constitutional provisions, landmark Supreme Court judgments like Kesavananda Bharati case, Shankari Prasad case, Berubari Union of case, where preamble was said as not the part of the constitution. Then this was reversed by Kesavananda Bharati case, saying that preamble is part of the constitution. So this linkages will be done. Then constitutional amendments, we have 44th, 46th constitution, 44th, 42nd constitutional amendment, which is also called the mini constitution, right? We will be doing it in detail, the important constitutional amendments. Then committee recommendations, as I told you, center-state relations, we have committees recommendations, we have like Sarkaria Commission, we have Punchi Commissions, right? So this committee recommendations we will be speaking about. Then previous year questions. What are the previous year questions? We'll be identifying the most important patterns in that previous year questions. Like as I told you now, this Article 21 was asked twice. It becomes very important for this for prelims, right? And also the parliament. The parliament, every time there are some confusing statements given relating to Lok Sabha powers and Rajya Sabha powers. That is all will catering in this previous year questions, pattern identification. Then the connection with the current affairs. In UPSC, it is most important that you connect your basic understanding with the present happenings, right? You need to update your notes. You need to update. Like example, recently there was a new article added in the 21, the right to way. Right to way was added, right to walk footpath was added under Article 21. Now this becomes very important to update in your notes. You need to add this under Article 21 and you need to have a proper structured notes on this particular topic, right? That is what we will be doing here. We will connect each and every topic with current affairs. So when I speak about the roadmap of the series, we will be starting about the preamble, right? We will be talking about the union territories, citizenship under Article 5 to 11, then fundamental rights, DPSPs, fundamental duties, the union executive, parliament, judiciary, the federalisms, emergency provisions, constitutional bodies, the non-constitutional bodies. We have non-constitutional bodies as well, right? Then local government, elections, and every other topic prescribed in the UPSC syllabus, and most important topic for your prelims, right? So, and another thing here you need to understand is, just understanding, having conceptual clarity is not enough. You need to also build discipline. You need to also have that answer writing techniques with you. You need to have someone who is guiding you, someone who is monitoring you, someone who is taking you to the right path. which is very important in UPSC preparation, right? You can, confusion can lead your full year to prepare blindly, but one personal mentor or one good expert faculty can make your 1 year useful. So in Legacy IAS Academy, our expert faculties, they are going to conduct classes in a structured classroom learnings, okay, right? You will have the interactions type of classes, then you will have detailed notes provided for each and every topic. You will have regular assessments of your performance, right? You will have answer evaluation by the faculties, and also feedback, personal feedbacks will be provided. Mentorship session, one-to-one mentorship sessions, and a systematic roadmap will be provided. So now UPSC is not just about understanding concepts, but you need to have that hold, that discipline, that revision, and that regular test. So Legacy IAS Academy provides all these things. So you can enroll our batches here. If you feel this session is useful, please enroll to Legacy IAS Academy, where you will be able to give direction to your preparation. Thank you. Will also be taken by Sukriti ma'am, who is an expert faculty in polity. You will have classes, as we spoke, structured learning, regular tests, interactions, and answer writing technique that will help you write a balanced and a technical answer. So register, the link is in description. Register Legacy IAS Academy to give right direction without following blindly your UPSC preparation. Thank you.